I don't like giving synopsis. I feel like everyone should just go into every book blind all the time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a book haul. I haven't done a book haul since May, so it's been piling up. I unhaul books almost as quickly as I haul them, so this is just what's left. We've got 50 to show you today because I need to put them away. I can't have them on the floor anymore. It's not the vibe. So we're just gonna dive right in. I guess we can start with the elephant in the room. I do have You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. If you've been here for a minute, you will know my track record with this man. Haven't had a hit, but I keep picking them up. The reason I picked this one up is I found it at Half Price Books. Half Price Books has been very kind to me lately. This is the original cover. Like, I don't think that you can buy this one anymore. It was $5. I'll knock it out relatively soon. If I hate it, I'll bring it back. I couldn't tell you what this is about. This is another short story collection. You can tell by the cover that it's horror, right? Eric LaRocca's view of horror and my view of horror so far are not matching up. So I don't know, but we'll see. I have 1Q84. This is a used copy. It's a paperback. The spine is in mint condition, but somebody already broke this in. So it's like the epitome of flop. Epitome of flop. Like it's perfect. You can flip it open to any page and it will stay open and the spine's not cracked. So I had to have it. In terms of what this is about, I could not tell you. I've just seen this book floating around for years and years. This author floating around for years and years. Apparently it's a love story, a mystery, a fantasy, a novel of self-discovery, a tremendous feat of imagination. So if I'm gonna read this book, like there's no greater edition than this one right here. Just look at it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The Final Offer. This is the third book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I don't really recommend the first two, but that's just personal opinion. But for some reason, I feel like I'm gonna like this just because it's a second chance romance and I've already been introduced to the brother that this book follows and I don't detest him. I also have Lovelight Farms. I spend a lot of time in Target and Target is like nothing but Colleen Houvier and book talk girly romances, so I just end up picking them up. I think it's Christmassy, but it's a romance, fake dating. Sometimes I like fake dating, and there's other ones if I decide I like it. We've got some Fairy Loot books, so I am subscribed to the adult Fairy Loot, and I really haven't been impressed so far, but we're gonna keep it until at least November because Beebs needs these. And we need that early access because she needs these. The Curse of Saints. This is just your average run-of-the-mill romantasy. I think it is so ugly. Like I don't know if it's the colors. I don't know what it is, but this book, well, like I don't like it. I don't like it. So what did I do? I went to Target and I got the paperback that's way better looking. I just don't like this. I don't like it. It's not doing it for me. Like, I think it's real gross. We also have Shanghai Immortals. This is one that I wasn't really that interested in, and I'm only holding on to it because it's set in hell, and I typically like that. So we'll see if this one delivers. This one is better looking though. So there's that. Got this in the mail yesterday, and that is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. So me and Chloe Gong, we've drifted apart. I read her debut and I did enjoy it, and then I moved on to the sequel and I lost interest. I DNF'd, I unhauled, and as far as I know, she has just continued to write in that world and I haven't cared. This is her adult debut, but it is yet another Shakespeare retelling, and I find it like really annoying that she is not doing anything other than Shakespeare retellings. I'm not a Shakespeare girly, and it's not even that. It's just like, damn, like, do you have an original idea? I had no interest in this one based solely off of that until this edition came in the mail, and that is because of this art print right here. Like I don't know if y'all can see, we are getting like Mia Corvair vibes, and she's got a cat. So I'm gonna check it out, and I'm gonna buddy read it with Beebs, because now we have 2 editions of this. She's got the book of the month one. So let me know if you want us to vlog that. We can do a buddy read with Beebs. In all honesty, this cover is kind of whack, but the naked, it's cool. I like it. Welcome to Night Vale. I picked this up on a whim at half price. I looked up reviews on Goodreads, and a lot of them said that this was Alice in Wonderland vibes. I have since read this and given it 5 stars, and I definitely agree that if you are obsessed with Alice in Wonderland like I am, this could be worth picking up. If Alice in Wonderland and Adventure Time had a baby and then they left that baby out in the desert, like that is this book. It just really worked for me. Like the humor in this book, it is 115% my humor. Like this is such a niche read that even though I know it's not true, I wouldn't be surprised if I am the only person on this earth who enjoys this book. This is based after a popular podcast. I did listen to this on audio, and I feel like you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't listen to it audibly. I just feel like it adds so much. When the Reckoning comes, I would consider this to be a horror novel. It deals a lot with like racism and slavery. It is a very, very heavy read. Do not go into this one lightly. It feels wrong to say that I liked it. Like I didn't even rate it on Goodreads because it felt fucked up to rate this kind of story. But if you can handle the subject matter, I don't know how to talk about this book. Like I listened to it on audio and I wanted to own it physically. Another one I picked up is Again But Better, written by our fellow booktuber Christine. I feel like I'm the unpopular opinion. I really liked this book. I liked her other book too. But basically it's this girl who travels abroad for school for a semester. If you've watched any of Christine's videos, this character is very much Christine. And I know a lot of people didn't like that about it, but I thought it was a fun time. I didn't think it was bad. This one I'm so happy that I have. It is Our Lives Under the Sea. I read this, I want to say back in March, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved it so much. If you know me, I don't really order books online. I don't really do the Amazon thing. I love to find things out in the wild. And I have been searching for this book since I read it, and I finally found it at half price and I scooped it up immediately. I've also really been wanting to reread it, especially when the whole submersible thing happened. Like as soon as that started popping off in the news, like this was the first thing I thought of. This follows 2 wives. One is on land while the other one is stuck in a submarine at the bottom of the ocean, and she's down there for 6 months. And when she comes back, she's not herself. It's so good. So good. I can't wait to reread it. And another one that's so good. Sister Maiden Monster. This is another like horror sci-fi type novel. I really didn't think I was gonna like this one, but I absolutely loved it. This is like I would classify it as like a pandemic book, but I really don't want to tell you anything about it. I feel like you just need to pick it up and go into it, and if it works for you, it works for you, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I feel like this is one of those books where it's best to just go in blind and just let it take you. We also have the Owlcrate edition of The Whispering Dark. This is the July pick for the Full Moon Book Club hosted by Jan Agaton. I picked up the regular edition of this book because I did my Jan Agaton roast and I was supposed to read this book in that vlog and I didn't. But that video got me to 100 subscribers. So to celebrate, I got myself this edition just to capsulate like the moment in time. I still haven't read it, by the way, but just to capsulate the moment in time. And I just thank you so much for subscribing if you have. And if you haven't, please consider doing so. But this was my present to myself. And even if I read it and don't like it, I'll still be holding on to it because for one, it is so beautiful, and for 2, it encapsulates just, you know, a moment in time, and I don't want to forget it. So honestly, I couldn't tell you what it's about. This is a running theme. Please don't judge me. Another one I've read is Mayfly. This is essentially American Psycho, but it's a woman and it's set in LA. I really enjoyed the premise of this. I feel like the execution could have been done better. I do think it's worth your time if you're interested. I also have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Yellowface. I feel like I don't need to explain what this one is about. I feel like it's one of the top releases of the year so far, and it was so good. Before I had these bookshelves, I just had all of my books stacked up on the floor. And as you may know, I have a zoo, essentially. I have cats and dogs, they run amok. And there was an incident that happened before I had these bookshelves, and my cats peed all over all of my books, so I had to unhaul a lot of them. A lot of them couldn't be saved. So here I am in Half Price Books 2 years later, and I find the truly Devious trilogy. I did own all of these in hardcover, but I did have to get rid of them because of said incident. So when I saw all 3 of these at half price for like stupid cheap, it's like, you know what? We're gonna get them back. So now we have them again. The only one I'm missing is Box in the Woods. A YA like mystery series. Maureen Johnson is a funny woman. This is book 1. I definitely think these are worth your time if you seem at all interested. I just thought they were really fun, and they're very addicting. I've read all 5. I also have Upright Woman Wanted. This is by Sarah Gailey. I've only read one other Sarah Gailey book, and it was just kind of meh, but this one is super short, and I found it for $3. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna do it. It's like librarians out in the Wild West. I don't know. It's short enough where I don't really want to know. I just kind of want to jump into it. But for $3, like, why wouldn't I give it a try? The other one I've read is Nothing to See Here. I picked this up on a whim. This is literally about children who spontaneously combust. What you see on the cover, that's what it is. That is what's happening. I didn't think I was going to like this, but it is so good. I also picked up Last Chance Books. This is a romance novel. I think it's YA. I really like the cover, and I had been seeing it around, so when I found it used, I just picked it up on a whim. I think it's gonna be a hate to love. Like, this woman owns a used bookstore, and this man owns like a new bookstore, and they kind of have to like duke it out. I was pulled in by like these little signs here on the back. One says, brand new books, with that brand new book smell you won't find anywhere, especially across the street. And then the other one says, buy books from better looking employees. Like, it seems like it's gonna be a fun time. I'll get to it eventually. Another one that I've been searching for a really long time is This Is How You Lose the Time War. This is so good. Don't ask me to explain it to you because I can't. But if you like weird books, if you like books that leave you confused, this is for you. I feel like if you made it to the other side of the Locked Tomb series and your brain isn't complete mush, this is probably going to work for you. They're completely different stories. They don't really have anything else in common except for that, but that's just the closest I can describe. Like, this is a love story of sorts, but it's not what you think it is, I promise you. Honey and Spice. This is another one I've been looking for forever. This is one of my favorite romance books of all time. This definitely is one of those books where you get to the last page and you are just devastated because you don't want it to be over. That doesn't happen to me that often, but this book did that, and it did it ferociously. Like, shout out to my local library for having the audio and it being available, because honestly, that was the only reason why I picked it up, just because it was there, and it's one of my favorite books of all time now. So good. If you like romance, if you like realistic characters, just read it. Just read it. We've also got Clara and the Sun. This is another one that I've already read and I really enjoyed. I'm happy to have it physically now, because even though I really liked this book, I feel like it's too smart for me, so I'd like to go back into the physical text to see if there's more I can get out of it. Like, I know that there is more here than just what's on the surface, and my brain just can't compute. So I highly recommend. This is about like AI. Takes a look at our rapidly changing modern world through the eyes of an unforgettable narrator to explore a fundamental question. What does it mean to love? This should be required reading. It is so, so good. I read Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. So what did I do? I went out and I got more Rebecca Ross. This is a YA fantasy. I don't like giving synopsis. I feel like everyone should just go into every book blind all the time. But there's magic typewriters. There's some good writing in here. Like it was a good time. I've been trying to dive into her backlist, and I got Dreams Lie Beneath and A River Enchanted. So fun fact with these, you'll see these little Barnes & Noble 50% off stickers. So my local Barnes & Noble, I spend a lot of time in there. And a lot of the times when I'm looking for specific titles or I am out and about, I deal with the same bookseller. So while I was there last night, actually this was last night, she was in the fantasy section and they had hardcover copies of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And she was talking to one of the other employees. She's like, oh yeah, I started this on audio. Like I'm still very much in the beginning, but I know I'm going to be obsessed. I don't know if I want to buy this because I think the covers are fucking hideous. And I was like, you know what? Fair. I was like, if you feel like you're gonna love it, I feel like you should just buy it. Invest in the hardcovers and just order custom dust jackets off the internet. And she was like, you know what? You talked me into it. Everyone today has been telling me no, not to do it, but I'm gonna do it. So like that was a whole moment. So I was looking for this book. I had already had this one in my hand. I was looking for this one. She said that they had 9 copies in stock, but we couldn't find any of them. So this poor girl had to go into the back, and all 9 copies were out in the back. So she pulls it out and they were 50% off or whatever. And she's like, oh, what's the other book you have? So I handed it to her and she's like, you know what? I'm going to put a sticker on this. So I ended up getting this for $5. So shout out to that bookseller. I already loved you, but now I really love you. So again, I couldn't tell you what these are about. They're fantasies. This one is YA. This one is adult. I can't tell you anything else, but I can confirm that Rebecca Ross has nice writing. So we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna try it out. And for $5, how could you not $5? Like, be kind to others, and they will be kind to you in return. I also have Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This is the only Morgan Matson that I haven't read, but in terms of her books, there's only one that I've liked enough to hold on to, and that's Since You've Been Gone. So I picked this up just because it's the only one I haven't read, and the cover really, it's giving like Nick and Nora type vibes. The movie, not the book. The book is trash. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be these 2 girls and their dog just having shenanigans and adventures on the streets of the city. Probably be a fun time. I found this edition of Alice in Wonderland from 1971, and it's in like really good shape for being so old. I love Alice in Wonderland. I have an Alice in Wonderland collection. I know a lot of y'all have been asking for a book tour, and I've been promising it, and I promise I will show you all of my editions of Alice. I can guarantee that it's not nearly as impressive as Haley in Bookland, but it's not too bad. But this is the newest one, and I promise I will show you the rest. We also have A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I haven't read any Virginia Woolf, and I feel like I need to fix that, but I am starting with this one specifically because one of my favorite movies of all time is Booksmart, and one of the characters in that movie has a sign on her bedroom door that says A Room of One's Own, and I thought that was hilarious. So super short, it was $4, so we're gonna give it a whirl. Do I know what it's about? Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure it's about women though. I also have this really fun copy of A Clockwork Orange. I really love the movie. I read the book once and I was very confused, but this was years and years ago. I am smarter now, so I'd like to give it another whirl. But I've never seen this edition before, and I just thought it was so fun. Like, he is saying yarbles, bloshy great yar blockos to the invine, and I thought it was hilarious. So I'm gonna give it another try. And we're gonna see, apparently this is complete with the missing last chapter, explanatory introduction by the author. So maybe that will help me understand it more. If you don't know, The Honeys is one of my favorite books of all time. I love our Lord and Savior, Ryan LaSala. These are all Ryan LaSala books. So I have Bedazzled. This is a YA book. It's basically queer boys who cosplay and fall in love. Like, it's really hard not to like. It's not the greatest thing I've ever read, but when I saw it out in the wild for a really good price, I was like, you know what? We're just gonna add it to the collection. It's fine. It's fine. We also have an ARC copy of The Honeys. So this is copy 2 out of 3. I have the hardcover already, and I will be getting the paperback copy when it comes out in August. Happy early birthday to me. So if you don't know, The Honeys is set at a prestigious summer camp, and horrific things start to take place. A horror novel. It is YA. It definitely has culty vibes. There's definitely weird goings on. I absolutely love it. I definitely think it is worth the read, and I'm really happy to have the ARC. I also have the ARC for Beholder. This comes out October 3rd. I am so happy to have this. Oh my goodness. This is like a horror sci-fi. I have already started this. I started this right when I got it, but I did have to put it down because I was reading it before bed and it was really fucking me up. So I put it down and I haven't picked it up since, but I am very excited to have it. If you liked The Honeys, I would definitely suggest giving this one a try. I'm so happy to have these. I love Ryan LaSala. Now we're going to talk about graphic novels. I was blessed to find both Mothkeeper and Junior High. I got one 50% off, which was so great. So Junior High is a graphic novel by Tegan and Sarah. It is their experience in junior high, but it's set in present day, which I thought was really fun. It's very cutesy. It's very simple because, I mean, it is middle grade, but so good. And if you haven't read High School, their memoir, you definitely should. And Mothkeeper is the newest release from Kay O'Neill, who wrote The Tea Dragon Society. I actually started this one today. I'm not that far in, but it's giving the appropriate vibes. And I mean, so far all I know is this community, they're nocturnal, so they can take care of these night moths, and it's that whole journey. Also by Kay O'Neill. Since I mentioned the Tea Dragon Society, I did get the second one, the Tea Dragon Festival. So basically, if you haven't read the Tea Dragon Society, you should. If you like cutesy, wholesome things, Tea Dragons are where it's at. Essentially, there's these magical tea dragons that produce these tea leaves that you can use to brew tea, and it's just a whole thing, and I love it so much, and chamomile is the best, but definitely highly recommend. I started reading Lumberjanes, and by started, I've only read volume 1. But I loved it. I am obsessed with it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So now I'm on the hunt for all the other issues. And I went to Half Price Books and I found all of these for $2 a piece. So we've got bonus tracks. We've got volumes 5, 8, and 9. And then we also have the Infernal Compass. I have no idea when I'm going to get to these because, I mean, I'm obviously still missing the rest. But for $2 a piece on $15 graphic novels, obviously I was going to pick them up. Lumberjanes is basically it's a girls' summer camp, and that's basically all you need to know. And it's like Girl Scouts almost, they earn badges and stuff like that, and it's a fun time. If you enjoy the type of humor I enjoy, if you Adventure Time type humor, if you like Nimona, things like that, if you like that kind of humor, I do think that you'll enjoy these. They are a fun time. We also have The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. This is a newer release. Honestly, I don't really know anything about this other than there is a cute dog, cute dog, and all of the characters in this book are named after cheese. It's gay and they're named after cheese. Do you need to know anything else? Because I don't. I also have mooncakes. Oh, this is so good. If you're in for a spooky, heartwarming good time, mooncakes is the one for you. There's gay grandmas, there's cats, there's magic. Like, what more could you ask for? So back in June for Beeb's birthday, we took a day trip to Austin and we went to Book People, and it was so amazing, but also incredibly overwhelming. And I was able to get Our Share of Night and the Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School. So I had already read this one and I really, really loved it. Like, it is as the title suggests. Like, I really don't need to tell you anything else about this one. This one I am currently reading. It's a chunky bitch. It's a magical story. It takes place over several years. We're following this man and his son. I don't really want to get into any of the specifics. Like, if you want to read the synopsis, you're more than welcome to. It is a translated work, which is really cool. If you like slower paced stories, I think this could be for you. I also picked up A Taste of Gold and Iron. I found this for an exceptionally good price at half price. Like, it's got these beautiful edges, it's signed, it's really freaking pretty underneath. There's reversible dust jacket. This is like a royalty type fantasy, and they're gay. So, like, I really don't need anything else. I don't. It was pretty and it's gay. Like, I'm sold. I have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. Becky Chambers is the queen. If you like sci-fi, if you like coziness, if you need to be reminded that not all people are scum, these are for you. I need everything Becky Chambers has ever written. Ever. That is it. That is all 50 books. If you have made it this long, thank you so much. Let me know, do you have any of these books? Are you interested in any of these books? Have you read any of the ones I haven't read yet? Do you think I'll like them? That's the most important question. Do you think I'll like these? Let me know down in the comments below. I love talking to y'all down there, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.